Let me ask you something. Are you tired? Even when you sleep 8 hours? Are you gaining weight even though you haven't changed the way you eat? Is your hair coming out more than it used to? In the shower, on your pillow, on your brush? Do you feel cold all the time, even when everyone around you seems perfectly comfortable? Do you feel like your brain is running in slow motion, like it's harder to think clearly, harder to remember things, harder to just feel like yourself? If any of that sounds familiar, I want you to pay very close attention to this video. Because here is what most doctors don't take the time to explain. After age 50, your thyroid, a small butterfly-shaped gland at the front of your throat, can begin to fail quietly and slowly. And when it does, it mimics almost every single normal symptom of aging. Fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, hair loss, depression, joint pain, feeling cold. Which means millions of people over 50 are walking around right now with a failing thyroid, being told by their doctors that everything is normal for your age. But it isn't normal, and you don't have to accept it. Today on Senior Nutrition Secrets, I'm going to walk you through the 7 most important signs that your thyroid may be failing after 50. Signs that are easy to miss, easy to dismiss, and absolutely critical to catch early. I'll explain exactly what your thyroid does, why it starts failing after 50, and most importantly, what you can do about it. This is an educational video. Please always speak with your doctor for personal medical advice. But the knowledge you gain today could genuinely change the quality of your life. Let's get into it. Before we get into the 7 signs, I want to take just 2 minutes to explain what your thyroid actually does. Because once you understand this, every single symptom on our list will make complete sense. Your thyroid is a small, butterfly-shaped gland that sits right here, at the base of your throat, just below your Adam's apple. And here is the thing, it controls almost everything. Your thyroid produces 2 main hormones, T3 and T4. And those hormones act like the master volume dial for your entire metabolism. Every single cell in your body responds to thyroid hormone. Your heart rate, your body temperature, your weight, your energy, your digestion, your mood, your brain, your hair, your skin, your muscles, your cholesterol levels. All of it, regulated by this one small gland. When the thyroid is working well, you feel energetic, sharp, warm, and balanced. When it slows down, a condition called hypothyroidism, it's like someone slowly turning down the volume on your entire body. Everything slows. Everything drags. Everything gets heavier. And here is why this is so critical after age 50. Thyroid function naturally declines with age. But far more importantly, a condition called Hashimoto's thyroiditis, where the immune system mistakenly attacks the thyroid, becomes dramatically more common after 50. Especially in women. Studies show that up to 20% of women over 60 have some degree of underactive thyroid function. And many of them, perhaps half, have never been diagnosed. The reason is simple. The symptoms develop so slowly, so gradually, that neither the patient nor the doctor notices the change. That's exactly why knowing these 7 signs matters so much. Because catching this early, before significant damage occurs, makes all the difference. Sign number 1, and this is the one I hear about most from people over 50. Fatigue. Not normal tiredness. Not the kind that goes away after a good night's sleep. I'm talking about a deep, heavy, relentless exhaustion that's there when you wake up and still there when you go to bed. A fatigue that makes simple tasks feel like enormous effort. A fatigue that used to not be there, and now is, every single day. People describe it as feeling like they're wading through thick mud. Like they've lost their spark. Like the energy they used to have has simply vanished, and no amount of sleep, coffee, or rest brings it back. Here is exactly what is happening in your body when the thyroid fails. Your cells produce energy inside tiny structures called mitochondria. And mitochondria run on thyroid hormone. When T3 and T4 levels drop, the mitochondria slow down. They produce less energy. Less ATP. Less cellular fuel. Your muscles run low on energy. Your heart pumps a little more slowly. Your brain runs with less fuel. And the result, from head to toe, is that bone-deep exhaustion that no amount of rest seems to fix. Now here is the critical difference between thyroid fatigue and normal aging tiredness. Thyroid fatigue is constant, not just at the end of a long day. It is disproportionate to your activity level, meaning you can be exhausted after doing almost nothing. And it is often accompanied by a kind of heaviness or physical slowness that feels distinctly different from just being tired. It also tends to get worse over time, not better. If you have been exhausted for weeks or months and rest is not helping, please tell your doctor specifically, "I want my thyroid checked." Don't accept, "You're just getting older," as the answer. Push for a TSH blood test. Could explain everything. Sign number 2. And this one causes enormous frustration and self-blame in people who don't know what's happening. Unexplained weight gain. Gaining weight even though you haven't changed the way you eat. Even though you're eating the same foods, the same portions, the same way you have for years. The weight just keeps coming. If that's been happening to you, I want you to hear this clearly. It is not your fault. And it is not simply what happens when you get older. Here is the science. Your thyroid hormones are the primary driver of your basal metabolic rate, the speed at which your body burns calories just to keep itself alive. Heartbeat, breathing, body temperature, cell repair. All of it burns calories. All of it is governed by thyroid hormone. When the thyroid slows down, your metabolism slows with it. Your body burns fewer calories at rest. The same food that your body used to process efficiently now gets stored as fat, particularly around the abdomen, hips, and face. At the same time, a failing thyroid causes fluid retention, a puffiness that adds volume and weight, especially around the face and eyes, the hands, and the ankles. And your gut slows down too. Hypothyroidism causes constipation, bloating, and reduced digestive efficiency. So the food you eat is being processed more slowly, and more is being stored. The result is weight gain that seems to defy logic, and that almost never responds well to diet and exercise alone until the thyroid is properly treated. If you have gained 10, 15, or 20 pounds over the past year or two with no clear explanation, especially if it's concentrated around your abdomen and you also feel fatigued, please get your thyroid checked. These two signs together are one of the strongest indicators of hypothyroidism. Sign number 3, and this one often goes unnoticed until it becomes impossible to ignore. Hair loss. Hair thinning. Hair that falls out in the shower, on the pillow, on the brush. More than it used to. And not just on your head. One of the most distinctive signs of thyroid failure, the one that endocrinologists look for specifically, is thinning of the outer third of the eyebrows. The outer edges of the eyebrows become sparse, patchy, or disappear entirely. This is called the sign of Hertog, and it's so closely associated with hypothyroidism that many thyroid specialists consider it a key clinical indicator. Here is why the thyroid affects hair so dramatically. Hair follicles are among the most metabolically active cells in your entire body. They require a constant, steady supply of thyroid hormone to maintain their growth cycle. Under normal conditions, each hair follicle goes through 3 phases: growth, rest, and shedding. When thyroid hormone drops, follicles spend more time in the resting and shedding phases and less time actively growing. The result is diffuse thinning. Hair all over the scalp becomes finer, shorter, and falls out more easily. What makes this particularly tricky after age 50 is that some hair thinning is normal with aging and hormonal changes, especially around menopause. So it's easy to miss the thyroid's contribution. The key questions to ask: is the hair loss happening faster than it used to? Is it all over the scalp rather than in patches? Is the texture of your hair becoming coarser or drier? And are the outer edges of your eyebrows becoming thinner? If you answer yes to 2 or more of those, combined with fatigue and weight gain, that is a strong cluster of thyroid warning signs. Tell your doctor and request a thyroid panel. Sign number 4, and this is one that people often joke about, but it's no laughing matter when it's caused by a failing thyroid. Feeling cold all the time. Wearing a sweater when everyone else is comfortable. Needing extra blankets at night. Cold hands and feet even in a warm room. A persistent chill that just never fully goes away. Here is what is happening physiologically. One of the primary functions of thyroid hormone is thermogenesis, the production of body heat. Your thyroid essentially sets your body's internal thermostat. When thyroid hormone levels drop, your body produces less heat. Your blood vessels constrict in the extremities, hands and feet, reducing blood flow to the surface of the body to conserve warmth for the vital organs. Your metabolic rate drops, and metabolism generates heat. The result is a persistent cold sensitivity that is not about the environmental temperature. Other people in the same room feel perfectly fine. But you're reaching for a cardigan. This is called cold intolerance, and it is one of the textbook symptoms of hypothyroidism. Now, some people do just run naturally cooler than others. And as we age, circulation changes. So how do you know if your cold sensitivity is thyroid-related? The key is change. Has this gotten notably worse over the past year or two? Is it significantly more pronounced than it used to be? Do you feel cold even when you've eaten and been active? If the answer is yes, especially alongside fatigue, weight gain, and brain fog, your thyroid needs to be evaluated. Your body should be able to keep you comfortably warm. If it can't, that's a sign something significant is wrong. Sign number 5, and this one is the most frightening for many people over 50. Brain fog. Difficulty concentrating. Memory problems. Forgetting words mid-sentence. Walking into a room and forgetting why. Feeling mentally slow, foggy, and not like yourself. And alongside that, or sometimes instead of it, a low, persistent feeling of sadness. A flatness. A loss of the joy and motivation that used to come naturally. For many people, this combination of cognitive slowing and depressed mood leads to an absolutely terrifying thought. Is this early dementia? Is this Alzheimer's starting? I want to give you something reassuring and important right now. Thyroid-related brain fog and depression are reversible. When the thyroid is treated and hormone levels normalize, cognitive function and mood very often return to normal. Completely. Here is the physiology. Your brain is one of the most thyroid-sensitive organs in the entire body. The neurons in your brain require thyroid hormone to fire efficiently, to form connections, and to regulate neurotransmitters, especially serotonin and dopamine, which govern mood. When T3 levels fall, brain metabolism slows. Neural connections become less efficient. Serotonin production drops. The brain, like everything else in a hypothyroid body, shifts into a kind of slow, foggy, low-energy state. Studies have shown that even subclinical hypothyroidism, where the thyroid is only slightly underperforming, not yet at diagnostic levels, can significantly impair memory, processing speed, and mood in adults over 50. This is why the thyroid must always be checked before a diagnosis of depression or early cognitive decline is accepted in someone over 50. If you or someone you love is experiencing mental fog, memory changes, or unexplained low mood, please specifically ask for a full thyroid panel, including TSH, free T3, and free T4. The results could be life-changing. Sign number 6. The physical changes you can see and feel on your body. Dry skin that lotion doesn't seem to fix. Rough, flaky patches on the elbows, heels, and shins. Skin that feels thick, rough, or waxy rather than soft and supple. A puffiness in the face, particularly around the eyes in the morning. Puffy eyelids. A slightly swollen appearance to the face that doesn't go away with water intake or sleep. Brittle, cracked, slow-growing nails. Nails that break easily, that have ridges running down them, or that seem to grow much more slowly than they used to. All three of these, dry skin, facial puffiness, and brittle nails, are classic physical manifestations of hypothyroidism. And here is why they happen. Thyroid hormone is essential for the normal turnover and regeneration of skin cells. When it drops, skin cell renewal slows dramatically. The outer layer of skin, the epidermis, becomes thicker, drier, and less able to retain moisture. The skin's natural oils decrease. At the same time, hypothyroidism causes a buildup of a substance called mucin, a gel-like material, in the tissues beneath the skin. This is what creates that characteristic puffiness, particularly in the face and around the eyes. It is not water retention from too much salt. It is a genuine tissue change driven by thyroid hormone deficiency. Doctors call it myxedema. And the nails? Just like the hair follicles, nail cells are highly metabolically active. They depend on adequate thyroid hormone. Without it, nail growth slows and the nail plate becomes weak and brittle. The interesting thing about these three signs is that they develop so gradually, over months and years, that most people simply accept them as aging. They buy better moisturizer. They accept puffy mornings. They stop looking at their nails. But these are your body's quiet, persistent way of showing you that something is off at a hormonal level. And they deserve investigation. Sign number 7. And these three symptoms often come as a real surprise to people because they don't seem obviously connected to a thyroid problem. A slower than normal heart rate. Elevated cholesterol, particularly LDL, that doesn't respond well to diet changes. And muscle weakness or aching, especially in the thighs, upper arms, and hips. Let me explain each one, because they matter enormously for your long-term health. First, the heart rate. Thyroid hormone directly influences how fast and how forcefully your heart beats. When the thyroid slows down, the heart rate slows with it. A resting heart rate consistently below 60 beats per minute in someone who is not an athlete should prompt a thyroid evaluation. People with hypothyroidism often also notice that they feel short of breath with mild exertion, because the heart simply isn't pumping fast enough to meet the demand. Second, cholesterol. This one shocks a lot of people. Your thyroid is intimately involved in how your liver processes and clears LDL cholesterol from the blood. When thyroid function drops, LDL levels rise, often significantly. Many people are put on cholesterol-lowering statin medications when the real underlying problem is an underactive thyroid. Treating the thyroid first, before adding medication, can normalize cholesterol in many cases. This is why thyroid function should always be checked before starting cholesterol medication in adults over 50. Third, muscle weakness and pain. Thyroid hormone is required for normal muscle energy metabolism. When it's deficient, muscles become weak, fatigued easily, and sometimes ache, particularly in the large muscles of the legs and upper arms. This muscle weakness contributes to falls, difficulty climbing stairs, and a general feeling of physical decline that many people mistake for normal aging. If you have unexplained high cholesterol, a slower heart rate, or muscle weakness, alongside any of the other signs we've discussed today. Alright, let's bring everything together. The 7 signs that your thyroid may be failing after 50 are: Sign 1. Unexplained, crushing fatigue that sleep does not fix. Sign 2. Unexplained weight gain, despite no change in diet. Sign 3. Hair loss and thinning, including the outer edges of the eyebrows. Sign 4. Feeling cold all the time, cold intolerance that is new or getting worse. Sign 5. Brain fog, memory problems, and unexplained depression or low mood. Sign 6. Dry, rough skin, facial puffiness, and brittle, slow-growing nails. Sign 7. Slow heart rate, rising cholesterol, and muscle weakness or pain. Now, here is what I want you to do after you finish watching this video. Number 1. Write down every symptom from this list that sounds familiar to you. Be honest. Don't minimize. Write it down. Number 2. Make an appointment with your doctor. Bring your list. Look them in the eye and say, "I believe I may have an underactive thyroid. I would like a full thyroid panel, including TSH, free T3, free T4, and thyroid antibodies." That last one, thyroid antibodies, matters because it checks for Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the autoimmune condition that is the most common cause of thyroid failure after 50. Many standard thyroid tests miss this unless antibodies are specifically requested. Number 3. Know this. If your TSH comes back in the normal range but you still feel all of these symptoms, you have every right to ask for the free T3 and free T4 results and to have those discussed in detail. Lab normal ranges are population averages. They may not reflect what is optimal for you specifically. Number 4. Support your thyroid through nutrition while you wait. Key nutrients your thyroid depends on include selenium, found in Brazil nuts, just 2 or 3 a day gives you your full daily dose. Iodine, found in seaweed, fish, eggs, and dairy. Zinc, found in pumpkin seeds, beef, and chickpeas. And vitamin D, because low vitamin D is consistently linked with Hashimoto's and thyroid dysfunction. These are not treatments, they are nutritional support. And your thyroid needs them to function. I want to say something important before we close. If you have been dismissed, if you've been told your blood work is normal, but you know something is wrong, trust yourself. You know your own body. You know when something has changed. You know the difference between getting older and something is wrong. Keep asking. Keep pushing. Find a doctor who listens. Because a treatable hormonal imbalance that is stealing your energy, your mind, your body, and your joy is not something you should accept as just aging. You deserve to feel well. At 50, at 60, at 70, and beyond. If this video helped you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. A friend who's been exhausted for months. A family member whose hair is thinning. Someone who's been told you're fine, but knows they're not. Share it. It could make a real difference in their life. And if you haven't subscribed yet to Senior Nutrition Secrets, please do it right now and hit the bell. Every week we bring you honest, medically grounded, practical information about the health topics that matter most after 50. Blood sugar, nutrition, inflammation, brain health, heart health, hormones. All of it, in plain language, with real care. We'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. You deserve to feel strong, clear, and fully alive at every age.